Hi, my name is Petra Conti. I'm an international principal dancer, and I'm gonna take you through everything I do in a day. Being a dancer for me is part of who I am. It's my lifestyle. It's how I present myself. I don't stop being a dancer once I'm out of the studio.
Good morning. It's 6:45. I have Mishu and Frida, and Elsa is sleeping.
The first thing I do is feed the cats because they will not allow me even to go to the bathroom.
No? You don't want it? Alright, never mind.
If it's a day where I don't work, I don't even put makeup on. I like to give my skin some time off. Because of my work, I sweat a lot. I would rather, go clean. I like the clean look. Another thing that I have to do every day is do the bun or the twist. I am an Italian that it's a weird Italian. I don't drink alcohol, wine, I don't like it. And I don't really like coffee, which is an Italian thing, but I have to because it gives me that boost. So I drink that little espresso, and then because I need a lot of energy, so I need carbohydrates, a lot of pasta, a lot of pizza, a lot of bread. So bread in the morning with whatever, Nutella, also Italian, or lately something more salty with some cheese. I started ballet when I was 11, so now I think it's 22 years. And my mom and my sister were ballerinas, were dancers. So I thought every family, is a dance family. I didn't think it was weird that my mom would sit in a split sometimes and read books for me. I felt kind of at ease, lifting the legs and dancing around, and it was super fun for me. It was never something that was out of my comfort zone. In 2013, I decided together with my husband to move to America and challenge ourselves, a new journey, a new career path, and we became principals of Boston Ballet. That was completely a different experience. In Italy, the way you're a principal dancer, you're a principal dancer until you retire. And in America, everything is very different. You get contracts every year. You can be renewed or not renewed. You really need to work hard. Today, I'm a principal dancer with Los Angeles Ballet, and I also travel internationally as a guest artist. Currently, I live sort of far away from the studio, so it takes me more than an hour to drive.
Ready?
Once I enter the ballet studio, I sit down and listen to my body, whatever I need to do. If it's just stretching, if it's already start doing some abs, or if it's just slow warming up of every little part of my body. And then I prep my pointe shoes. I check if they're ready to be used, or if not, I just fix them a little bit. I take care of my feet before I start my regular work day. I massage and scrape the bottom of the foot very often now. That helps with the circulation, with the blood flow, and sort of helps recovery and warming up the feet. I tape whatever I need to tape if I have some blisters or whatever. Pointe shoes are like tires for a racing car. More than taking care of my feet, I would take care of the pointe shoe. So in between rehearsals, I would fix the shoe. This is the brand that I'm currently using. It's a new pointe shoe. It's very hard, and it doesn't move at all. And this is an old pointe shoe, which it's flexible because I have cut the sole. I put jet glue in here, and of course I put ribbons and elastic. It takes me about 1.5 hours for every pair, and they dye in about 1 day or 2. So imagine how many hours during a week I have to spend. It's sort of my second job. The ballet class starts at 9:30 until 11, which is the warm-up, which is sort of a meditation for ballet dancers. I feel like listening to your own body is really important, and ballet class, it's that medicine that we need to take every day to feel better. It's like vitamins for us. We do bar, we do center. The hardest part of the ballet classes at the end, where we really start to push and get that stamina going. If I don't push for a couple of days, I lose my stamina, so everything becomes harder. I get out of breath much easier. There is a saying in the ballet world that if for 1 day you don't do ballet, you feel it. If for 2 days you don't do ballet class, the teacher sees it. If for 3 days you don't do ballet class, the audience notice it. During my career at Boston Ballet, at some point I started feeling a little bit not well. In 2016, they diagnosed a kidney cancer, so I had to go through surgery and recovery, and it sort of changed my way of seeing myself as a dancer. It changed my mentality, changed the way I lived my everyday life. I had this moment, I performed my last Swan Lake together with my husband at Boston Ballet, and then 1 week later I got into surgery for kidney cancer. And that moment, that last performance, I thought, this is the last time I'm gonna do this. I should really enjoy it. And that was, I feel like sometimes we're so stressed because we have such a big responsibility. We dance in front of thousands of people. Everyone is looking at us from the troupe, from the backstage people, company members. So that big responsibility sometimes can be too much. So we get a little bit overwhelmed. And I was a lot of time I was really stressed to go on stage. But that last performance of my Swan Lake before surgery, I sort of understood why I am doing this, because I love it and it is who I am, it's my life. And I dance like it was the last time for me. And the dancing like it's for your last time, it makes it completely different. It makes it so much more magical. I am back to dancing, which I didn't know at that time, and I'm actually a better dancer now. I call myself the Petra Conti 2.0 because I feel like now that I've experienced that suffering and that fear of losing everything, you start enjoying it more. So I started really loving it and not being so afraid and really giving it all at every performance. And now I have this big responsibility to share with my fans, with the audience, that there is so much in this life to be happy about, to enjoy every single moment that we get to have, because it can really, it can go away like this. If we don't love our body the way it is today, we might not have a chance tomorrow. As dancers, we have the mirror every time in front of us. Sometimes it can be, a love-hate experience. But now I believe it's really, really important to appreciate who you are today. Ballet is not natural. It's not a sport like others. It's all unnatural. It's starting from the turnout that we need to create, the rotation of the hips and of the legs outwards, which naturally will cause you to fall because you're not stable. So we need to create that whole stability from scratch. And so instead of using the biggest muscles, which are the quads, we have strong quads, but we also have extremely strong inner thighs and hamstrings, which are the two most important muscles that we use in the turnout. Of course, in ballet, core is the core. Core is so important, not only when you're doing partnering, but also when you're doing pirouettes and everything, all the balancing exercises, especially because we are on point. So another very important aspect for a ballerina like me is to have super strong feet. I needed to develop feet that feel like hands, and that's what I still work on. Sometimes I try to grab stuff with my toes. If I don't have that energy and that smoothness and that strength and that power, I can not only not jump properly, roll down through the foot, but I also cannot dance on point shoe properly. So there's a whole preparation, and it takes years for a ballerina to be able to wear point shoes.
One, and two, good, and now walk with her. Heel, hip, dot, 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 dot.
There's rehearsal weeks and performance weeks. So rehearsal weeks is kind of easier, a less stressful week for me, where I get to rehearse, prepare for the next upcoming performances, and also teach at Pasadena Civic Ballet. So my schedule is really full, but it's of course less stressful because I don't have any performances this week. And when I have a performance week, I get really like performance mode. So I really focus on my character. I study again and again whoever I am, my role, the personality that I have to bring on stage, and the technique that I have to excel at when I'm on stage. I don't even answer phone calls sometimes. I'm really just focused on performance mode. What I like about my work is that every day is different. There's not such a day where I have the same hours. One day I can have just 2-3 hours with my partner where I just would rehearse my solos, my variations, the partnering, the pas de deux. Some other days I might have on top of that another couple hours with the corps de ballet, which is a total different story because then you have, the ensemble, the professional dancers that are also part of the ballet. And so we try to put the whole ballet together. And that's also a little bit more stressful because I have to already perform in front of the company. In between rehearsals, I take a break and have some snacks or a quick lunch, always being hungry and, needing something or some banana or whatever. In between rehearsals, if I have some time off, I would go to my training room that we have at Los Angeles Ballet and I work on things that I need for that day. Massage or physical therapy is really part of the game. So my legs get super tired, my feet get super sore. So sometimes I would have to do ice bath on the feet to sort of keep that inflammation down. Leading up to a performance, of course, the rehearsal week changes. It becomes more hectic. So repeating that variation, that solo, and getting all the corps de ballet together in a studio rehearsal with everybody, sometimes already with costumes to start getting the feeling or help the partner understand if the costume is slippery or not. You get into that performance mode. My job is a big responsibility. As a principal dancer, I need to care a lot. So of course, I am stressed. It's not a paralyzing stress because that would be a disaster. If I went on stage and be paralyzed from the stress of having sometimes even 15,000 people looking at me, then I would not be able to do this job. The best thing for me actually is that moment when I enter that stage and I kind of break the ice. And I like to say I feel like a fish in the water. Finally, it's my thing. I get so inspired by the audience. Sometimes it's 3 hours of performance where our character evolves, and that's the most exciting thing. It's that process which is so interesting, but only happens 100% in front of the audience. I can only fake it in rehearsal, but once I'm on stage and I really perform, the magic happens. I am not anymore just Petra. I am Petra Giselle, Petra Odette Odile, Swan Lake, or Petra whatever. I become that other person. And that's the best thing I love about ballet. And what I say every day is that for a principal dancer of my caliber, I never look for perfection because perfection doesn't exist. Not only ballet, but in this world, we're human beings and humans are imperfect. And that's what makes us great and beautiful. And in our art, that imperfection makes us unique. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. I believe actually that since I started teaching, I became a better ballet dancer. Just explaining every single movement and noticing all the errors, I understand much more because I can tell what's the problem with some pirouettes or stuff. I can also apply it to myself. And I absolutely adore teaching, adore sharing my experiences, my expertise, my knowledge. I think it's gonna be something that I'm gonna be doing until the day I die. Pasadena Civic Ballet, it's very nice to us, to me, because I'm not only faculty, like the main faculty, but I also can use the studios. So I can really, if I feel like I need to work more on things that I haven't worked, just work on one more extra step. And most importantly, I can keep working with my husband, Eris, on new choreographies. The only time to work on these things is usually at night or during my day off. So I'm preparing a new pair of pointe shoes for tomorrow. It's very quite usual that we arrive at home and then we finally do dinner and rest. After dinner, my job is not done because normally I would have to prepare my pointe shoes for the next day. And sometimes I want to see how they feel, so I wear them. So in the middle of a movie, you could see me just standing up and walking around the living room. It's totally normal.
And it's 12:30 a.m. and I'm finally ready to go to sleep. Good night.